What's going on? You already know it is Cash Media back at it again on a wonderful Saturday. You already know what it is, man. Game 4 in Miami just came to a conclusion. And you know what? I'm going to come out and say it. I was wrong like a mofo. That's right. I was wrong. I had Miami Heat winning this game by 5, tying it up, making a series. But you know what? That didn't happen. Denver Nuggets came out there, just came out all types of aggressive, play to their game. Jokic, of course, you know, the best player on the court, and as of right now, cementing himself as the number one player in the league. Right? I know AK would love to hear that. He'll gloss up on that opportunity to take that chance as much as he can. You know. Oh, let me drop the link in the comment section though too, so you guys can tap in and talk about it. All right, so I'm gonna drop that in there too, so you guys can tap in. Because of course I want to get a debate going, talk about the finals. But yeah, man. So I want to talk about Miami starting off because I know obviously Denver Nuggets has they've been the best team or one of the best teams for the better part of the season, right? Um, but for Miami, on the other hand, right, that's not the case. We're talking about an HC team here, right? So yesterday, that stuck out yesterday in the game was the Miami Heat role players, right? They simply just did not fill the void. They did not come up yesterday. And if anybody has been watching the playoff, if anybody been paying attention, you would know that Miami Heat has only gotten this far because of the fact, you had these role players like Gabe Vincent, Max Struess, Caleb Martin. You had these guys coming up, giving valuable minutes, putting up points, giving their contributions, so that Miami Heat would have a better chance or a better opportunity to win. Right? Plain and simple. Right? But the thing with the Nuggets, right, is that their role players came up and came out yesterday. They stepped up and did their thing. Right? Now, let me just go over the team stats. Let me go over the numbers so we can assess this a little bit better. Right? Denver Nuggets shot 49% from the field. Miami Heat shot 45% from the field. Right? Both Denver Nuggets only had attempted one more field goal in the entire game. Denver Nuggets were 50% from three. Miami Heat, 32% from three. All right. Field goals, 16 and 17. Denver Nuggets 16. Miami Heat 17. Miami Heat was 85% from the free throws, but it just wasn't enough. Rebounds, right? Miami Heat had them beat by 3, so it's very close in that regard. Usually teams that out rebound the other team typically, runs away with the win. But in this case, the rebounds were really close. So it wasn't enough to make a real difference. But what's even more interesting is that Miami Heat had 8 offensive rebounds as opposed to Denver Nuggets' 5, right? But given the context, and if you were watching the game, some of those rebounds, some of those offensive rebounds probably came in late in the game before they can even make a difference. Assist, Denver Nuggets out, They had more assists than them, 26-23. Denver Nuggets had more steals, 11 steals to 2. They had more blocks from 7 to 3. They had less turnovers from 6 to 14. And even points in the paint was oddly equivalent, right? Denver Nuggets had 48 points to 46. And then here's another thing: points off turnovers. Denver Nuggets 17 points off turnovers, as opposed to Miami Heat only leading the game. Their biggest lead in the game was 3. But Denver Nuggets, their largest lead of the game was 17. So just breaking down these stats, talking about these numbers, talking about these stats, I mean, you can kind of see how this game was going, at least for the majority of the game. As I was watching this, Miami Heat, they had their efforts in staying in the game, right? Jimmy Butler hadn't had a playoff Jimmy-like game in the past couple games or so. Denver Nuggets have been doing somewhat of a decent job or a great job at containing Jimmy somewhat, kind of utilizing Aaron Gordon in multiple areas. And then yesterday, Aaron Gordon came out guns blazing, right? He played 41 minutes and had 27 points, right? Hear me out on this. Aaron Gordon, right? Aaron freaking Gordon, a guy that has averaged 13 points in the playoffs, had 27 points in the finals. Jamal Murray didn't even have 20 points. Jamal Murray had 15 points in that game. He didn't even have a crazy game. He only shot 3 threes and made 2. He had 17 shot attempts and only made 5. The difference is Jamal Murray was racking it up on the assists. He had 12 assists that game. 42 minutes, 12 assists. Right? Nikola Jokic, 23 points, 12 rebounds, only 4 assists. Right? But late in the game, Nikola Jokic had 5 personal fouls. So at some point in the fourth quarter, he was subbed out in that game. And then even during that stretch, even during that run, Miami Heat couldn't fathom up, or they couldn't get something together to bring this game close, because it wasn't Nikola Jokic really killing them. And even Jamal Murray had stated that he talked about that after the game, in the post game interview, and he was talking about, hey, you guys can't just guard, the stars. You have to worry about the other players because they can kill you too. I mean, Bruce Brown played 29 minutes, came off the bench, and he had 21. He had a big game. He was 8 for 11 on the field, 72% field goal, 60% from 3, right? Michael Porter Jr. didn't even have a great game. He didn't even make no threes. Aaron Gordon was 75% from 3, right? Aaron Gordon was 75% from 3. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope played 36 minutes, only had 7 points, but he had a dagger at the end of the game that basically sealed that victory against the Miami Heat. Right now, I'm gonna just come out and say it, because I know the title already talks about it. The Heat are done. The Heat are done, right? There's only been one team to come back off of a 3-1 deficit, and that was the 2016 Cleveland Cavaliers. That was led by LeBron James and Kyrie Irving. Now, the difference is I just don't see a team like Miami coming back and winning 3 straight games against a team like Denver Nuggets, because of the way they're playing, because of the way the Denver Nuggets are playing, in addition to the way Miami Heat are playing also. But I got to give more credit to Denver Nuggets because, talking about it, one of the biggest reasons why I feel like Miami Heat are done and they can't come back off of this 3-1 deficit, number one, is because of offense, right? You cannot come out and play sloppy on offense against a team like Denver. You can't. Point blank, period. Bottom line. Whenever you come out against this team, you have to score. You have to make your shots. You have to get stops. You have to get stops. There's no way around that, right? And yesterday, for a team like Miami, who are known for more so for their defense rather than their offense, was getting killed yesterday, right? If the Denver Nuggets have a better 3-point percentage than you in a game, that's not a recipe for success. In the case of Miami, right? In the games that they've won, the teams that they played against, they've shot better than those teams. And that was a huge component as to why they were even able to beat those teams in the first place. But a team like the Denver Nuggets, right? They're more disciplined than the Boston Celtics. They're better coached than the Boston Celtics. They have better players than the Boston Celtics, right? So going into this, I knew that Miami wasn't the favorite. I clearly knew that these guys were underdogs. You know, I was in my case trying to make an argument for an underdog, trying to lay out the blueprint in case if this team were to try and make something happen, then you would have had to essentially make your threes, find a way to neutralize Jokic and even to some level of degree Jamal Murray. And on top of it all, you cannot let the Denver Nuggets role players blossom. You cannot let them eat. Miami Heat in those first 3 games had done a really good job in keying off on the role players, making sure those guys don't get what they wanted. MPJ hadn't played well for the better part of the series. Jamal Murray, he had 2 games where he wasn't shooting particularly well. But the thing about it with Jamal Murray is that, you know, he overcomes and kind of adjusts to the situation, right? He wasn't hitting his shots for majority of the game, but that gave him opportunity to start getting other guys involved, which led to, you know, the 12 assists that he had for that game. And you can clearly see how that played an effect on the game. I mean, come on now. Aaron Gordon, 27 points. Sounds crazy, right? In a finals at that. So, you know, with Miami Heat, Eric Spoelstra, I mean, he did a wonderful job, wonderful coaching job. Jimmy Butler played phenomenal this postseason, but it's just not enough, man. It's just not enough. And to keep it simple, you know, just to be fair, you cannot, right? I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. Miami Heat need a big. Point blank period. Miami Heat needs a big. They need somebody that can stop Jokic in the paint. Or they need somebody that can just stop a big man. I'm gonna put it like this, all right? And I'm probably gonna have another video to talk about this in the future. Is that players, this is a big man's game, right? This is a big man's game. And I'm gonna touch up on that just a little bit. And I'm gonna just sum it up in this, you know, in a couple words. The past 2-3 years, who has won MVP? Nikola Jokic has won 2 of them. Joel Embiid won it this year, right? But who's been the finalist? Jokic, Giannis, Embiid. Past 3 years. Past 3 years, top 3 players have been Jokic, Giannis, and Embiid, right? In order for you to beat a team or even be able to neutralize or cancel out what Jokic is doing, you need to have a player that of his size that's committed to making him work throughout the night, right? That's one of the biggest things we have to pay attention to, or at least moving forward, right? And then that's one of the biggest problems with the Miami Heat. Even though they do have a good team, they're a team with grit. They're a team that's ambitious, that want it, that know how to work hard, that knows how to keep playing the game until the last whistle is called, until the last whistle is blown. But there's only so much you can do when you don't have that matchup. Understand this, Jokic during the season is a guy that shoots 63% from the field, right? As a big man, he shoots 63% from the field. With the amount of points that he averages, you have to have somebody that can make him work for his shot. Because give or take, you give that guy the ball, more than likely, he's going to make it, right? Because he has such a soft touch. He has a good touch on the rim. It's like when he shoots the ball, it just has a way of just going in. He has Nikola Jokic just has an instinct on just how to make the ball go in the hole. No BS. I'm not even trying to cap on this. He knows how to get the ball in the rim. I know it just sounds simple as hell, but that's just because it's such a smooth and soft touch. Even his jumpers don't even be bottling it in. It goes straight in. It goes up and it goes straight down, right in the middle of the rim, right? So for somebody like Bam, right, I can see that he's trying. I can see that he's putting his efforts in to try to guard Jokic as much as he can, and while also trying to give it on the offensive side of the ball. See, the thing about it is, everybody tried to count out Bam before it even happened. Now, it was for good reason, but I think there was just a lot of disrespect when you're talking about Bam heading into the finals. Right now, I'm not one of those people who were trying to make an argument to say that Bam, was a player that can put up the same amount of numbers as Jokic, or even to cancel him out. But I mean, we clearly see that Bam is clearly effective in this series. Right, he's averaged no less than 20 points per game in this series. Now, some of those games might not have been efficient. They might have been. He might have had bad shooting nights, particularly the game before that. Because I believe if I look at his numbers, right, because he had 20? He had 20 in that last game. He was 8 for 19, which is just under 50%. Bam, right, shot in the last game, he shot 33%. So in the game that just happened before, or last night, or on Friday, he shot 42%. Game before that, he was 33%. Right? This is your big man. This is your center. This is your center shooting 33% from the field. Right? He's 6'9", same size as LeBron, same height as LeBron. Right? So that's just how it looks, man. That's just how it looks. Miami Heat is just too small. Cody Zeller is not athletic enough to go against somebody like Nikola Jokic. Right? Nikola Jokic had 40 points in game 2. And in that third quarter of game 2, he was doing most of that against Cody Zeller. So to go to this, right? I just don't believe in Miami Heat's role players anymore. I think they ran dry. I think they met their maker. They've met their match. They've met a team that has better role players than them, right? Uh, I think you can make a valid case against other teams. I think you can say other teams have better role players, but I feel like that's subjective. At least in this playoffs, to say, which team has better role players or has a better supporting cast. And I don't even think going into this playoffs, you can say that Miami Heat had a better supporting cast. But you can say that Miami Heat supporting cast performed the best out of probably all the teams in the East at the bare minimum. Right? So, my thing, right? Game 4, even if Miami were to win game 5, would it even matter, to be honest? Would it make a difference? Because I know if they were to win that game tomorrow, can they win in Miami? Possibly. But I don't know. I don't even think they win. I don't even think they win the game on Monday. To be honest, I don't. Nuggets know full on, what's to come from this situation. They know what's at stake. They know they gotta come and close this game out. They're literally one game away from closing this thing out. Now I know that Miami Heat has that grit in them. They're not gonna just fall flat on their backs and just take it and just lose. I know that's not what they're going to do. Every game they've played with heart. Every game they've played with intensity. Every game they've played with their heart on their sleeve. But that's not enough. That's not enough for Miami Heat here. You have to have the personnel to cancel out the Nuggets stars. And then your supporting cast has to match the output of what the other team is doing. Right? I mean, shit, you even had Kyle Lowry putting up numbers. Kyle Lowry putting up numbers, man. Kyle freaking Lowry, right? 38 years old, coming off the bench, had a good 13 points. By the half, it was more impressive by the half, but as the game ended, it wasn't the same effect. Gabe Vincent only had 2 points yesterday. 2 points. Before this game, Gabe Vincent, before the past 2 games, Gabe Vincent averaged 21 points in this series. Right? 21 points. Last game, he had 2 points. The other game, where he played 32 minutes, he had 7 points. No rebounds and 1 assist for both games. Right? He has a negative plus minus of minus 21 last game and minus 16 on the court. 16% from the last game, 20% in the game before that. Max Strus, right? A guy who's been putting up in averaging 11 points, right, in this playoffs. Or 9 points, more or less. That kind of did what it did go down because of his poor play in this series. But Max Strus has scored 0 points twice in this series. Twice. This is the NBA Finals. And you scored 0 points twice in this game. Twice in this series. The game on June 4th against Denver, that second home game, he had 14 points. That was the game they won. So you see the difference? If you even had somebody like Max Strus hitting their threes, who's to say this couldn't have been a different game? I mean, think about it, right? They lost 108 to 95. 108 to 95. So if Max Strus were to even have his average, they would have at least been down by 4 points. Gabe Vincent, right? He had 2 points. If he were to even give his average, they would have probably won that game. But at the end of the day, man, I've stated it in the past before. It takes a team. It takes a team, right? And we've seen it in so many different ways. It's been laid out for us in so many different ways, right? So my thing here, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to get that dog to stop barking. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. Yeah. So kind of lost my train of thought. But yeah. So Miami, they oh yeah. So it takes a team. It takes a team to clinch, to win a title. I mean, your star players still have to perform. Bottom line, if your star players don't perform, they can't. You can't win a championship. But your role players also have to be better than what they've been. Your role players have to come up and step up. Your role players have to be better than what they've been. They have to elevate. They have to feed off your stars. They have to know what's at stake. They have to know what's at stake. And based off what I was watching, the Denver Nuggets role players knew what was at stake. They performed on the road. Aaron Gordon had 27 points on the road. Bruce Brown had over 20 points on the road, right? Denver, for the most part, has not been a team that's played better on the road. But during this playoff run, they've gotten big wins on the road, right? So at the end of the day, like I said, this ish is over. It's over, man. It is over. It is over. Right. So I don't know what much more I could say in regards to the situation. I went on my little ramble. But at the end of the day, man, it is what it is. The best team is winning this one. The best team is winning it. Right? So, I mean, as you can see here, I'm just dipping and dabbing here on Twitter. Heat. Somebody say Heat in 7. That's what I had said in the beginning. But that's the only way I saw Miami Heat winning this series. It was going to be in 7. I didn't see I didn't see Miami Heat being up in this situation, being up like 3-1 or even 3-2. It really just kind of takes. It's gonna take a different sort of. It's gonna take a different type of grind to get through this, man. And this is another thing too. Now that I'm just not bringing this up, now that I'm just looking at this, is Tyler Hero didn't even play in this series. He got injured in round 1. Got injured in round 1. Right? Hey man, if you guys are tapping in though, if you guys are listening in, like and subscribe, man. Show some love, show some support. It don't cost nothing to drop a like and subscribe. This is sports and entertainment. Sports and entertainment, man. Show some love to Cash Media. Right? But yeah, Tyler Hero didn't even play in this series. He was projected to play in game 3. Then, there were talks of game 2, and they say he wasn't cleared for either. And look what happened. And just so we understand, they could have used Hero in both those games. They could have used Hero in both of those games. But it is what it is, man. It's a tough one to call. So yeah, man, one team in NBA Finals history has come back from trailing 3-1. Any team that's down 3-1 in the finals is 1-35. 1-35. Right? 1-35. So let me know, man. I want to hear y'all thoughts and opinions. I want to hear what you guys have to say. Do you guys have any thoughts? Do you guys think Miami Heat's coming back? Do you think the series is over? What's your opinions? I want to hear what you guys have to say. I generally want to know what you guys think. Right? I don't think there's really much to debate, who's gonna who's gonna win NBA Finals MVP. I think it's pretty cold cut and clear that Nikola Jokic is gonna win Finals MVP. But yeah, man, it's a tough one for Miami. I don't have no feelings about it, which way or another. You already know my team, or my teams for the matter, Lakers and Nets, right? But it is what it is, man. It is what it is, man. Let me know. Let me know what y'all think, man. What y'all think? Y'all think Miami can come back? Y'all think Miami Heat are done just like me? I'm on that record. I'm on that. I have no reason to believe, man. I feel you. Miami Heat's done some things, but they haven't been able to do what they've been able to do against other teams in the East. They haven't been able to do it. So that is it, at least for this topic or this discussion. I don't have anybody hopping on at the moment, so I'm just gonna leave it where it's at. Hope you guys enjoyed, my discussion, my take on Miami Heat being done for this series. But like I said, man, let me know what you think in the comment section. And honestly, just give your honest opinion, give your honest take. It doesn't have to be related to what I'm asking, but I want to hear your guys' full assessment on this. Um, who did you guys have winning prior to the finals? Who do you guys have in Finals MVP? I think it's unanimous to say it's Nikola Jokic. And are the Heat done? Are they still in it? Right? So that is it for me. Thank you guys for tapping in if you do. Like I said, one more time, One more time for the one time. Like and subscribe to Cash Media. And I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. See you guys whenever I can. Remember, hit that bell and notification button so you guys can hear whenever I get on. And you guys want to get some things off your chest. Thank you and have a great day.